Again, so just getting more burn spells in the main deck. I think like even like less. This was like lesson one of the deck is like committing to like this linear burn game plan. Is just like why this deck works. And so like this was a deck that I liked back when Lurrus was legal. We had like a good amount of success with it. And then we tried like a lot of different versions that ended up being worse in this more burn focused version. And then after like the Lurrus ban, I kind of lost in the sauce with Goblin Engineer a little bit, but just like I think moving away from the engineers is what you have to do here. And like I know it's like kind of simple, but for the first time, this deck, like I'm like really liking the look of it. First time in a long time. I also really like the 4 bridge in the sideboard technology. I think that's kind of exciting. Again, this is for those of you who haven't seen this deck, this is kind of an old Spike special. But this is a Rakdos list kind of built around Oni-Cult Anvil, but more so like the artifact sack synergies in general, where you're wanting to assemble your cat oven, your synthesizer, your Mishra's Bauble. Your anvil itself is like both a sack payoff and a sack enabler to trigger Disciple of the Vaults over and over, Ravenous Squirrel, Anvil over and over again, and just like nickel and dime your opponent's life total away until you blast them out of the game. You're just going to blast them out of the game with Shrapnel Blast, Galvanic Blast bolts. Ragavan is like surprisingly really synergistic in the shell. Where the treasure tokens are very nice to have access to, and you have the 1-mana removals to get it through. I would like snap this hand off if this was a dual land instead of my one of Den of the Bugbear. I don't play any sagas because the colors are so intensive in this deck. It's a lesson we had to learn the hard way. I think I can keep anyways, though. We have the Bauble to sacrifice, and if we miss, we can Synthesizer for a 3rd look at a land. Surprised there's only one utility land with the curve substitute. Well, your colors are just kind of harsh, and we're playing Magus on the side too. Why only 2 Galvanic Blast is not better than Bolt? Yeah, that's one thing with this deck is Bolt is better than Galvanic Blast. Like, because you're sacrificing your artifacts all the time, you don't have Metalcraft that consistently, which is why we're playing 4 Bolts and 2 Galvanic Blast. Okay, so let's Bauble ourselves. If the top card is a land, we can Synthesizer into it. Otherwise, I guess we just have to play Ragavan. Thank you, Synthesizer. Very cool. We love you, Experimental Synthesizer. Alright, everything's online. Could probably get a forest here, or sorry, a swamp here. They could be playing burn. Oh my gosh. Well, sorry, I need to play the Ragavan. Now we're playing this. Obviously get Blood Crypt to play Ragavan here. I was thinking after this, all my spells are good. They are burned the Witch's Oven, just like making food tokens would be good. Okay. Yeah, I need more coffee. I'll probably get more coffee before Dark Souls today. Well, maybe I've already had a little too much. Miss playing with Witch's Oven. It's always a really fun card for me. Are they playing Burn? What are they doing? They could be like a creativity variant. Sparrow's headquarters. I don't know. I don't know. Something's going on. Ah, it's the Ice 9 deck. Awesome. You love to see it. Kind of classic hand to keep a 1-lander again. It's kind of surprised it didn't pillage me. Alright, let's get this Oni-Cult Anvil into play. Start growing the Squirrel. I don't think I want to trade Squirrel for their whole board even. We could, because we could sack here, but I think I'm be content with this for now. I don't think it was good to sack the Synthesizer this turn looking for a land. I think like starting next turn off sacking Synthesizers likely can be better, or maybe go like Squirrel to sack Synthesizer. It's like a Prismatic Ending. No, just a Sentinel. Into binding, targeting the Anvil maybe? I do have a second Anvil if I played, okay. Yeah, I think this is good for me. Yeah, this is fine. I guess I'd trade Construct for a 1/1. Not something they're interested in. Alright, so let's go Squirrel into Bauble, pay for Sentinel. Bauble, target myself, trigger Anvil, trigger Squirrel. And then if my top card is a land, I can sack the Synthesizer. No, it's a Bolt. Okay, pass back. Yeah, this is like a somewhat common, or I don't know, common's not the word I use. It's a known deck. It's like a red-white land destruction deck. Ice 9 is kind of like the hero of this archetype. Phoenix, 12 months, thank you. Glad you liked the stream. I kill my squirrel again. The anvil this time. Let's just sack the anvil to itself. Trigger the squirrel. Alright, fair enough. A lot of interaction, but we're not really doing bad at all here. May have to lightning bolt the sentinel. If I draw a land, I'll probably just play an anvil. Ooh, a cat. Cat's great here. Got 2 food tokens. Yeah, probably not exactly Einstein's list, but this style of strategy. They were playing pillage. Yeah, they're the boom bust deck, Einstein's usually like really in on the land destruction though. So we did work out. We 4-1 the first league, and then play against Mill, which is like an auto loss. So we had a close game against Scam, and now we're playing this. I'm just trading here. I mean, the Esper Sentinel is annoying here, but I actually think that I need to be just dealing damage directly to them at this point in the game, so I'm going to go play Oven, just play Oven plus bolt them, then attack with both. Maybe I guess I didn't have to bolt them right now. Okay, cool. Happy enough with this trade. I'll bring back the cat now, so they can't leyline binding my Oven in response to me bringing back the cat. Not too bad through double leyline binding, prismatic ending, bolt, pillage, Spyro, sentinel. Always like this deck a lot. I was not expecting to play against Ice 9's list round 1, or Ice 9. Honor deck. Probably not sideboarding. Yeah, Rakdos not known for its enchantment hate. Okay, use the restroom. Be right back. Pyrite for Sanctifier? I don't know if they're gonna have Sanctifier. Maybe that would be worth bringing it in. Hard to say. Hand's sick. Bread Cells, 27 months. Thank you. 3 sub babies. Yeah, that is 3. Congratulations to us. Very proud. Alright, Ragavan pretty good against the old boom bust plan. The pending, that's okay. Sentinel 2. I think I need to bolt the Sentinel. Do it now. But my issue here is like if my opponent blows up my land, then like the Sentinel is just going to be a really hard card to beat. If they can pillage me next turn or boom bust me. Okay, thankfully it's just Cleansing Wildfire. It'd be really good to draw another land, obviously to avoid their pillages, but also just get Squirrel going plus Cat Oven all in one go. That's okay. This is also fine, assuming they can't kill my Oven, which they have seemingly plenty of answers to Oven. But if I can go double Squirrel with like Cat Oven available next turn, we're gonna be in really good shape. Hopefully this is just like Seasoned Pyromancer or something. Leyline Binding. All right, so we'll not bring the Squirrel back because I want to be able to at least put these into play as 2/2s here. And then I maybe even will try to save this for Shrapnel Blast also. That could be correct. Dude, they've had pending. They've had a lot of action so far. Think Malticore will see any play in Affinity once one is released. I think it'll likely see some play. The exact quantities certainly to be determined here. Spatu, 27 months, thank you. Wow, into Spyro. Okay, so Spyro is going to gum up the board enough for me that I think I'm going to not bring back my cat. So many good cards this game, though. I think I'm going to save this because, yeah, like cards like Disciple, Anvil. Even if I just draw a fetch land, I can get a green source, and then I can sack the squirrel to the food to my squirrel for a card. Would Immortal Servitude work as a sideboard card against Fury decks? Main phase Blossoming Calm. Okay. Probably Seasoned Pyromancer, right? I don't think so. I mean, would it work? Maybe. Fury decks usually are also Voidwalker decks. Is each opponent or target opponent? Yeah, target opponent, so. Blossoming Calm, I'm going to do some work here. Stop! Dude, opponent's draw has been crazy. Just taking 2. Alright, fetch land for a green source on it so I can start activating Squirrel would be one of my best draws. I guess I'm doing this so I don't get the Disciple to trigger them, but I do start to grow the Squirrel, which is nice, and then I can start doing this every single turn. The Blossoming Calm is going to be worth a lot of life for them, though. Sack with Cauldron instead with Anvil. Yeah, that's better. That's a little bit better. I'm taking 6. Yeah, I think so. We're gaining life too. Not a lot, but you know, hopefully the Squirrel will be big enough to block. I mean, they've used most of their removal, or a big chunk of it, maybe. Just do this to get the Squirrel up to prerequisite power. And the Disciple can start triggering too. Blossoming Calm, very good. If you were to budget this list online by cutting Ragavan and Orvar, what would I replace them with? Maybe Engineer for Ragavan, or 2 more Shrapnel Blast for Ragavan. Not sure what like the extra card would be. Okay, let's take 4 here. Sam, 33 months, thank you. Keeping at 6 is fine. I know they have the Seasoned Pyromancer tokens here. Maybe start blocking with the squirrel. Yeah, Voldaren Epicure, that's a really good choice. I'm not sure about the Orvars. Doesn't matter as much. Could play Necromancia. Could also attack here. I don't think I'm gonna attack. Why not block and sack the token for draw? I can't sack the token for draw because I don't have any green mana. I've said that so many times this game that I don't have any green mana. And then the anvil only makes you a token on your turn too, so I have to be sacking it on my turn. So I think I'm gonna go cat here. And I need to keep this in place so I can keep sacking it to my anvil every turn. We have a lot of good top decks. And the life total is honestly not that high either. We're even like, I think we kill them if we draw a land. Because we get to go Shrapnel Blast them. Shrapnel Blast them is 12 plus the... Yeah, a land was lethal. Wow. I think I'm still sacking here. Aren't they dead to end of turn? Oh yeah, I guess I could have just end of turn. I mean, the problem is they have the Esper Sentinel. The problem is they have the Esper Sentinel, but I think I'm just gonna hold up the blasts. Like blast, sack the construct, pay for Sentinel. And then so this will put my opponent down to 5, and then. So we're dead. We're not dead, but if they have like an ending or a binding for the anvil, we need to find another artifact. They got kind of flooded after having like a really good draw early. My favorite art from one. There's a common that I think looks really sick. It's an artifact. Surprised I have an answer for this. Yeah, Phyrexian Atlas. I think this card looks sick. It's very cool. Not the chorus. I mean, the chorus is cool. The chorus is fine. I hate the chorus, actually. Just kidding. It's fine. That was my favorite, though. Existent, 24 months, thank you. It'd be gross to get Blossoming Calmed here. I have 2 cards in their hand. They're tapping Savai Triumph for black, and then they're spinning a black mana to Surgical Shrapnel Blast. I guess we're a Cat Oven deck. That's tough, though. Hard to play around that. Hard to play around that. Damn it. They're still dead to Lightning Bolt, not Galvanic Blast, but I can deal 2 damage with the Anvil just by sacking the Anvil to itself. Oh. It's not quite lethal. But now if my Oni-Cult Anvil token dies, my opponent dies too. Gonna maybe dash Ragavan first. I mean, they'd never take a hit from either of these creatures. Don't think I want to attack with my Disciple of the Vault this turn. Can't attack with both of them. Yeah, green source. Yeah, we just never ended up drawing the fetch land, huh? But ended up drawing pretty well. Oh, right, if Sentinel dies. Huh. Yeah, no, I should have attacked with the Disciple. Totally missed it. Dude, Showdown is a great draw. Okay, they're dead if they cast Brotherhood in on creatures. But if they kill my Disciple first... I mean, they can't really... Right. Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely should have attacked the Disciple. I totally missed it. Forgot that there was a symmetrical effect. Yeah, this like red-white like land destruction mid-range deck has existed for a long time. It does okay occasionally. Almost nobody plays it, so it probably is a bit better than most people think even. Because like again, a good formula for like winning deck or like deck to pick is a deck that like actually does show up in tournaments, and like will win occasionally, but almost nobody plays it. Just a good sign, not necessarily anything more than that. Okay, and then they like Showdown into Showdown is rough, and they hit another Lightning Bolt too. Showdown into Showdown. Kill both of my Disciples. I didn't miss lethal. They would have gone to 1 with my other line. It's kind of a bold attack. Down to 5. So they surgical my Shrapnel Blast, but I still have 3 bolts and 2 Galvanic Blasts. Okay, seeing that on top, I should be relatively okay to attack here. Witch's Oven? Oh yeah, Witch's Oven would also be an out. Sack this, get 2 food, bring back 2 squirrels. Could still draw. We have 5 draws from this Bauble that could just win. Ding 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 ding. Let's go. That was a lot to fight through. That was a lot to fight through. Surgical my blast with the blast in hand, blossoming calm, gave them like 8. Double binding, prismatic ending, like triple Spyro, showdown into showdown. Crazy game. I think that I think that game was like kind of textbook example of like what this deck is doing well compared to more traditional burn. All right, sick hand. Also on versions like running Grist Obnixilis. I like that version a bit better for the reach. I mean, you're just like raising the curve, and like you've already said it. Like this deck has really good reach. So like raising the curve for like dopey, grindy planeswalkers that don't really synergize that well with the deck. Like again, what this deck in my mind is doing really well is we're up against. Oh, this isn't Belcher. Why did my opponent cast Strike It Rich? What the hell's going on? But again, so what I like about this deck is that it is very low to the ground, and it is like a very focused. Okay, that explains that, I guess. Very focused game plan. I think when you start playing Goblin Engineer and Obnixilis, your game plan becomes much less focused. Song of Creation, maybe, yeah. Wow, immediately fetch Shocking. Finding they're Green Red Storm and they're playing Striker Rich. Okay, that makes more sense. So I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and sack my Oven just for damage, since I think I'm gonna get another hit off of my Ragavan here, and then using the treasure token can give me a Oni-Cult Anvil trigger. Wow, Manamorphose. Alright. So we'll go Manamorphose for red, black, I guess. I'm going to play Bauble. I'm going to target myself. If I see a blast, I can just blast them here. Otherwise, I kind of have to hold up. I can play a mountain and hold it up, but there's a bolt. So this is... I'm 1 short. Yeah, I'm 1 short. They might crack a fetch line, though. And I still have my Lightning Bolt up. Spike knows how I ever grinded my... Also, Spike, here's my grinding. Well, that's the thing, though, is like your random, like, unplayable 4 and 5 mana spells are not even good in the grind matchups. Is usually the meme. Wow. Yeah, I did vodka. So I rewatched Dino's Guide, and apparently, like, when you're doing the combo against the gargoyles, you have to have full stamina. And as far as I know, I haven't been doing that the entire time. And I don't know if it's like just a small RNG chance, or if like sometimes I just unintentionally had full stamina when comboing. But like you have to have full stamina so you can go R2 into R1 right away. When you don't have full stamina, you R2, you have to recover, and then the gargoyle can do the jump back like we saw. So that should be consistent going forward. Is that about 13 months? Thank you. Is the Dark Souls run level 1? No. It's just a normal no-hit run. You know, trying to, as simply as possible beat the entire game without taking a hit, which for a old Magic streamer like me is difficult enough. But the Ravenous Squirrel from 1 could replace Disciple of the Vault. I'd be maybe closer to cutting Ragavan. Maybe it's Disciple. We'll try it. We will definitely try it. That's part of the reason why we're kind of dusting this off today. Does this mean no more Ardent RCQs? What? The upcoming RCQ seasons will have single seasonal format plus limited to lower player barrier entry. Huh. I guess that does mean no more modern RCQs if the format for the tournament is not modern. Which is bad for competitive modern. Am I dead? I'm not currently dead. Especially, we saw Galvanic Relay, right? So like that makes me like much less likely to be dead. For this upcoming season? I mean, yeah, it does seem like this is very likely like their attempt to get people to play standard, which isn't exactly a bad thing. This used to be the structure too. Like your modern art, like PPTQs, RCQs were always the format that the PT was going to be. So like, wait, could they not have just double grape shotted me? I mean, maybe they still can. Clive, the 5-pack. Thank you. You've got to give yourself a Clive. Make sure to thank him. Okay, they killed my Ragavan. Oh, they killed my token. I should have sacked my token. I thought they were all going at me. Dang it. Little punt. I guess they're going to Galvanic Relay for 1 million. So if I draw a untapped land, I can win with Den of the Bugbear. I have Shrapnel Blast as an out. Okay, let's cast this. All right. Let's go. Go, 4 months to thank you. Man, I love this deck. Did Clyde say anything? Just gift him like a silent hero. Alright, let's bring in these Nihil Spellbombs. I'm down to trim a synthesizer. Hard to trim Bauble. I think we can trim a couple disciples. What's been my favorite deck of 2023? Definitely Anviltron. Turn 1 Ragavan's pretty nice in this matchup. We don't have a Bolt though, which is kind of unfortunate. Or a Blast. I think I have to keep though. The opponent punt. Yeah, it seemed like they could have killed me if they just went grape shot. I think they ritualed 1 too many times. I could have miscounted though. Wait, that's a really nice draw. Yeah, I'm really excited about Boros Stoneblade with Nihiri. Although we have to wait till next week. They delayed Magic Online release date. I've been calling the shenanigans lately. Like I called that there was going to be a little bit of a increased delay with with like the maintenance from last week, and I kind of called that there's going to be some shenanigans around release this time too. So fortunately, that seems like it's just not going to be as consistent as like the old Magic Online team for now. What's my gauge on the power level of Simultron? I think the deck's really good. I don't know. It's like, I don't know exactly what people want me to say beyond that, because it's like it's hard to put a number to anything like that. And I like the deck a lot. I think it's very powerful. I think it's competitive in the metagame. I think that it is a pretty high skill ceiling deck, so it's not really one that I recommend picking up and playing without experience. And it's a deck that is like weak if there's a lot of artifact hate in the format. You know, it's like not one that you want to select, and there's not always going to be a lot of artifact hate in the format. So there's just like a lot of moving pieces, I guess. Yeah, every deck is a 7. Oh man, we should just be like EDH players. Every deck is a 7. 5 head. So yeah, I don't think it's something that you want to play in every single metagame, but I think it's pretty good at the moment, and it's hard to play too. Like, so like this is kind of like part of the. I think I'm gonna let that go so I can play the second Spellbomb out. I think this is part of like the barrier of entry of decks like Anviltron, is that it takes like, you probably have to play like 20-30 matches before you like master Anviltron for like the average player, or like above average player, I don't even know. And so it's just very hard. It's like not a super accessible deck for people to pick up and play. And you know, I wrote a guide for Channel Fireball. I've got a lot of content out for it, but it's the kind of deck that like just is really hard to pick up in popularity for a while, which is also like part of the reason why I recommend it, is because I think it's very good and like underrated also for those reasons, you know. Can you replace Blood Moon with 4 bolts and Boros Stoneblade? Yeah, I think that you can. I think that you maybe should. And then like you would probably play Fury over Solitude at that point. Wow, Grape Shot me for 6. I've been working on my sales pitch, huh? The Galvanic Relay. Love Galvanic Relay. Pyretic Ritual, Anarchomancer, Ritual, Metamorphose, and Land. So not the scariest. So here we're going to go second Anvil. Play Bauble, trigger both Anvils. Look at my top card, and so I'll see if I want to sack my Synthesizer or not. Yeah, good enough. Dingo, thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Hope the Elden Ring is going well too. We are playing a little bit of an update to our old Oni-Cult Anvil blast list from like Kamigawa around a year ago. Ooh, another Bauble. Too bad we've already triggered our Anvils once. Kind of in preparation for the other Squirrel being printed to play this deck. Nice, well, 14 months, thank you. Not Soul Sunday, yeah. Sadly, not Soul Sunday right now, but we'll be playing Souls after this. We're pivoting to like reset runs. So like if I get hit early, I'll do like a reset. But right for the time being, we're gonna be doing all or nothing runs. One hit is one reset, and hopefully, hopefully we can get the freaking run. I think that as far as like the Dark Souls no hit run goes, I feel that I'm at the skill level where I could get the run at any time, but like I think it's still going to take some time before it actually happens. It'll be a combination of like luck and mental focus and maybe getting a little bit more experience along the way too. But we've come a really, really, really long way with the run. Yeah, the 8 hit is PB, but also like when evaluating it, like just like with like slightly better RNG, that hit count is like 3 or 4. And then also like 2 of those hits are like, or one of those hits is like now skill avoided. We understand the strat better too, so a lot of confidence there too, which I think is just like low enough to like be doing reset attempts at the moment. Okay, not dead to this. If they just have another Grape Shot, we're dead though. Yeah, it looks like they're going after my constructs here, so I'll sack a construct to an Anvil. Do you have the deck from your OP in my stream decker from today's opening? If that's what you're saying, yeah, they're all in the stream decker. Yeah, dude, I looked yesterday. We have 1.1 million views on stream decker. Can you believe that? That number feels crazy. I don't know why. It feels so so high. Does anybody else have over 1 million views on stream decker? Maybe. Alright, 2-0. I'm gonna keep this. Hard to say exactly which one's better, but like they do very similar things, and having like 8 redundant copies is pretty nice. So I'm likely gonna be playing it in the deck either over Ragavan or Disciple or some other split. Maybe you play like 2 less blasts. Waffle plays 4 Dress Down, bad. I don't think I'd be main decking 4 Dress Down at the moment. I would. Is it 4 in the main or 4 in the 75? Rin 6 is a really good card. Why no Asmo in the deck? Well, there's also no cookbooks and no Oval Chase Daredevils. People will oftentimes wonder why Asmo isn't in the deck. There's also like no other discard outlets. So like. You would have to add 12 other cards plus Asmo, so 16 cards. So 4 discard outlets for Asmo, 4 cookbook, 4 Daredevil, and you would do that to like dilute your aggro game plan, because this deck is very much an aggro deck. Okay, so I'm gonna look at my top card. If my top card is a land, or specifically a black land, I'm gonna hold the second Bauble. Not a black land, so I'll play out the second Bauble just to try to find a source. How often does Disciple come up verse Breach a pseudo Eidolon? Not that often, but when it does, it's very cool. They can usually kill it. Castle Garenbrig, alright, they're playing Titan. We have a bunch of Maguses on the board, which is nice. I think the exclusion of Devil is crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly like the problem is that Daredevil's really high on the curve. Otherwise, you know, I'd be more interested, of course. I think we play Squirrel this turn, and then we can make it pretty big starting next turn. Probably gonna bolt them. We've played Daredevils in this deck. We've played like every combination of cards, honestly, that you could think of. We're just done in 75. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, it's not crazy. I haven't really been thinking much about blue-white control either, so I don't have a strong opinion either. Yeah, it used to be no Daredevil because of Luris. But it's also like, so like in this deck you have Disciple of the Vault too, which acts a lot like Mayhem Devil does, but is 1 mana instead of 3. And obviously like it only goes phase, but like I don't think you would play Mayhem Devil over Disciple, but Disciple being 1 mana is really nice. Probably gonna bolt that now. Yeah, there is a card from 1. We just looked at it. It's very similar to Squirrel. It's very similar to Squirrel. So you can play 8 Squirrels. Probably bolting that one instead. Don't love it though. I think Breach is going to get banned in the near future. Gizmo, this is really good advice. I heard this from my hero and mentor, Andrea Mengucci, that when it comes to bans and when it comes to anything, Wizards mostly does things at random. Wizards mostly takes actions at random, and it is just not... It is terrible for your mental health to try to predict when something like that might happen. It could happen, yeah, but it'll just be like when the grandson of Hasbro CEO plays their first League of Magic Online in Modern for the month. Saw Corey play the challenge, and for him to say Breach is definitely a win. Get banned. I mean, it's one of, if not like the best card in the format. One thing with Breach though is like I think that like the entirety of Breach's lifespan, it's not only been like an underplayed card, but like people like don't sideboard for like Breach very often. Like people like Breach is like still I think relatively uncommon to have particularly dedicated sideboard cards for, which in my mind makes it like, I guess we're not playing the Galvanic Blast. In my mind, though, that makes it a kind of an issue to call for a ban on it, if that makes sense. Huh. Where we've yet to like really see a metagame where people are like showing up ready to beat Breach. If that makes sense. So my opponent, they might not have a bounce land in their hand. This is like, so their hand is Forest Mystery card. So they would have to have bounce land Titan, and one of those two cards would have to be new in order for them to Titan this turn. They've maybe made, they said that they're new to Titan, and a pretty common mistake that you can make when you're new to playing Titan is like not keeping a bounce land in your hand. Keeping a bounce land in your hand is really important. To be able to, like, you know, trigger your amulets. So we can Shrapnel Blast the Dryad. I think instead I'm just gonna go Anvil, sacrifice Synthesizer. Maybe I'll miss, but this will give me a stream of tokens, which will maybe help with the Disciple, help with the Shrapnel Blast too. And I don't think that I need to kill the Dryad here, because again, their hand is mystery card and then fresh draw on cards, so it's not like they're gonna kill me right away. So even with this Valakut, so this Valakut, I guess if the mystery card is a Titan, if the mystery card's a Titan, they can cast Titan, and it could very easily be a Titan. Thankfully, we have a bunch of Magus of the Moons in the sideboard, anyways. What do you think about paper RCQs being forced into one format? I haven't really like formulated much of an opinion. I will, okay, not Titan, that's big. I will chew on it a bit, and then post a scathing hot take to Twitter. Seething. Scathing, yeah, scathing. Well, yeah, well, I don't know why you want my opinion. I don't even know how to say the word scathing. So this is 6, 7, 8 damage. Not quite lethal. I'll just like keep the ability up to blast the Dryad if I need it. I don't need to do that right now. Yeah, Titan's really tough for Urza. You probably want to play Brainstone instead of Damping Sphere, though. It's 10. I don't think I've... I mean, I was maybe counting the opposite way. I don't have lethal. I'm like 4 short of lethal here from my calculations. Are Squirrel decks usually also Cat Oven decks? Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Squirrel, it goes very well with Cat Oven. It's like I think the best combination to play with it. Blasting end of turn puts them to 4, and then this is 2 points of damage. Block, yeah, they're dead if they have nothing. Don't you think you play? You could play like one Saga. I'm not 100% sure. You shouldn't play 4. You could play 1 or 2. And then I honestly, like, I don't know. I was like pretty happy. I was used to play 4 Saga in this deck for the longest time, and then once I cut them, I was pretty happy. You can play a second Din of the Bugbear also, but like your color requirements are really tough. Like every single card in your deck, with the exception of your Ovens and your Shrapnel Blast, are only spells that have color requirement. Like it's all colors. So like Saga does not help you cast these 31 spells. And so like you can use mana for Saga to cast these spells, but these 31, it's straight up, it's like not a land, which I think means you're not that interested. Obviously, you can use Saga more like a spell, but that's the reason why I don't play it. want to be trimming an Anvil in this matchup. Maybe trim a Squirrel. Or sorry, Ragavan, not a Squirrel. Disciple? Maybe, no, sorry, trim a Synthesizer before Disciple. Yeah, I'm very excited about Hades too. We'll probably be doing like a first playthrough on stream. Assuming the no-hit run is done by then. Bolt not great. I mean, we're a burn deck. I think that like keeping that the aggressive element in the deck is pretty important. Bolt's like, you know, good way to close out games. Why do you say from time to time that we're lucky that Titan players are as they are? Like, it looks like they could do something better. Yeah, you know, what I usually am saying is like Titan like probably should be more represented in Modern based on how powerful it is. The deck's really, really powerful, but like it's not that represented for two reasons. One, it has a really high barrier to entry. Like, my opponent's new to the deck, and so it just takes a long time to become proficient with Titan, and even longer to become a master with Titan. And then the second is like this weird dynamic that Titan players don't play Titan. Titan players are like, it's just not that well positioned. I'm gonna play something else. And like they might not be wrong, but like it's still an incredibly powerful deck that they could even with it not being super well positioned, like it's a deck that they could probably just farm leagues with really, really easily, and they just kind of choose not to. And so it's like win rate goes up proportional to play rate. This is said sometimes. I don't know how true it is, because like a little bit, right? Like, so like obviously on like very surface level, the most popular decks have a high win rate, and they're popular because they're like positive win rate decks. Yes, that's true. But I also think that there are a lot of decks in Modern that have really, really high win rates and are just not that popular. The 8 Blast deck was like my example from last week, and it just won the challenge. But like the fact that that deck wins the challenge is bigger than like Murktide winning the challenge, if that makes sense. Because like when Murktide wins the challenge, that's like really not that weird, because in any given challenge there's like 20 plus Murktide players, and that weekend there's what 2 or 3 8 Blast players tops. And so like I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but I don't like win rate is not exactly correlated to popularity. It is in like a theoretical. Okay, sad I put back the oven. It is theoretically right. In theory, modern players will adopt the higher win rate decks, but like in my experience in practice, people more so enjoy like the self-expression that Modern can give them, and will make excuses to play decks that they like, and I'm of course no exception to this idea. I would have loved to play the Squirrel before sacking the treasure, but I'm going to go ahead and get my Anvil down. Get my Swamp, because I do have Maguses in the deck. Ragnar, 20 months, thank you. With so many decks depending on one card, why are cards like Amortigo bad? Cards like Amortigo are not bad. Necromancer is like pretty popular in Yawgmoth sideboards. Stonebrain is like a good option. These cards are playable, and like you don't fit them in every single deck, but I don't know who told you they're bad. Whoever said that is being reductive or wrong. I don't know. Is 8 Blast a Ragavan deck? Yeah. It's a Ragavan Saga deck. Evil, evil, evil. Oh, Herald of Anguish. Yeah, you can cut them for like budget purposes for sure. I think I've built like a budget version of that deck for Channel Fireball before. At least started to. At least started to. With Fire Ice making Dovin's Veto worse, why are 0 mana spell like Force of Negation not control playable? Force of Negation is more playable control than people give it credit for. Actually, when I was in Vegas, I was playing like 2 or 3 forces in my deck in the 75. I think it was like 1 main, 2 side, and that was like largely for the creativity matchup, where like if you had Force of Negation, you were able to tap out for your planeswalkers. I thought that was like a really important dynamic. Are they gonna bounce their Saga? Not good. Again, sorry, I lost my train of thought for like the 1000th time today, but I thought that was a good dynamic. Beyond that, the issue with Force of Negation is, of course, though, that it is not very good against Violent Outburst. That's the big issue. There's a Bauble. I guess I'll just go second Squirrel into Bauble my opponent. 4/4 Squirrel, 2/2 Squirrel. They're drawing a forest. Could get Titaned here. Do you know where my sweater is from? I think my mom got this for me for during the Christmas season. It's been pretty cold lately, so I've been bundling up. I don't know where it's from. Probably like Target. If you lay down to play a modern cube that represents a bunch of history of the format, what archetypes would be most excited to draft? I don't know. Maybe Affinity, because I just love artifact decks and cubes. Maybe Storm. I don't know. I always look at like limited very differently from constructed. Think Elishnorn could have legs and Boros Lotus Field. Sounds strong with pitch elementals, double Golos Wall. Maybe. I don't know if that's the first spell I'll put it. The first spot I put it in. I do think it would fit okay there. Like maybe over Nihiri and you go a bit more into the ETB effects as your win con plan. Losing Emrakul is not great, but it's probably okay. Does it double Lotus Field ETB trigger? Because if it doubles Lotus Field ETB trigger, that may be enough to disqualify it. Yikes. Big yikes. PW, 18 months, thank you. Alright, it's not the worst hit. Okay, let me look at my top card. Just a Blood Crypt. I think I'm just going to Shrapnel Blast this turn, though. Since I could sack the Synthesizer and just see if I find something better. Oh, sorry, damn it! I meant to shuffle first. Well, that was just a punt. Just thinning the deck. Maybe I should have just played Cauldron Familiar too. Oops. Yeah, so I was thinking I wanted the Shrapnel Blast because like mana efficiency was going to be nice like next turn if I sacked the Synthesizer, but losing Synthesizer that way, maybe I should have pivoted back to the Familiar plan. I think I'm still going to Blast. Up to draw. Relevant spell. I think Vran could help sacrifice builds. I don't know what Vran does. Well, you know what? No. I think just dealing the damage with the construct is actually more relevant. Yeah, I don't know what Vran is. I could also draw Disciple of the Vault to make the blast 1 extra damage. Wow, another Beseiju. So I get a green source for Squirrel. Punished because I could have blast sacking that. All falling apart. Put us down to 12. I mean, if I just draw another Shrapnel Blast, they're dead. Which is probably worth shocking. Like, I'm not dead to a Titan if I shock here. Whenever one or more creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life, gain life. Yeah, the fact that that only triggers once a turn makes me not that into it. I know I could. I don't think I'm going to Jegantha here. I think I'd rather be able to draw a second blast. I can't really imagine that Jegantha is the deciding factor in winning and losing this game. Only on your turn? Yeah, gross. Iteration on why Prowess good, but Boggles Infect bad. Your card quality is was so much higher in Prowess. And then so it's like... So one thing too is Hammer Time is a pretty improved version of Infect. I don't think that Infect is so bad, but like Hammer Time does what Infect does much better, and it does it with like a really powerful plan B in the form of well, they're getting Dryad. It does so in the form of a really powerful plan B in the form of Urza Saga. And Prowess has like a really powerful plan B in Underworld Breach. And both of these cards are like good ways to fight through removal while also being do I blast the Dryad ever? They don't have another land drop here. If I blast the Dryad. No, I think I'm just blasting them. What was I saying? And Boggles and in effect just kind of lack that like really powerful, resilient plan B. Like what's so amazing about Prowess is like it gets to play a lot of cheap removal, which is like makes you much stronger against like decks like Yawgmoth that you might otherwise be kind of weak to. Let me look at my top card. They do have to pay for Pact next turn. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm going to attack with both so I can eventually top deck a Bolt here. You get the cheap removal. You have the cheap Prowess creatures, which will very consistently kill linear opponents by turn 3, and against non-linear decks when you play 4 Underworld Breach, which you should play 4 Underworld Breach and Prowess. Like, the Underworld Breaches give you an insane degree of late-game inevitability. Boggles is really weak to Shadow Spear. Boggles is really weak to Dress Down. There's a lot, going wrong for Boggles. All right, Jegantha. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm drawing Magus, so I'll actually Jegantha this time. They have to pay for Pact, which is good news for me. Should you play one Breach in this deck? Maybe. You could maybe play a Breach. I don't understand why Boggles hasn't gotten support in new cards. I mean, it has somewhat. Like, there have been a couple playable auras printed over the last few years. But it's also, like, I got Light Paws, too. But I think the issue is not that Boggles hasn't gotten new cards. Like, Boggles is basically always going to do the same thing. But in my opinion, the big issue is that there have been a lot of new cards printed that incidentally just really wreck the Boggle game plan. Like, again, Shadow Spear and Dress Down are two of the biggest, but Explosives, Hitotsugu consumes all. There's just like enough that it is has become a much worse strategy. And like I guess what they would maybe need is a third 1-mana 1/1 hexproof. That would go a long way. That would go a long way. But Archon of Cruelty, that is another really good example. But yeah, that's another thing is like Boggles is like typically like I think when Boggles is good, like Modern is probably not in a very good spot. Like or like Boggles being a tier 1 deck is I think would be like relatively unpopular. Oh, they can cast a Titan here if they have it. I thought they'd be short, but they're not. Well, I don't know why I thought they'd be short, sorry. Like, yeah, but Boggles, again, is a pretty unpopular strategy as far as, like, decks that people like to be good. Oh, Blast Zone is another great card against Boggles. Yeah, and then another thing about Boggles, too, is, like, you're now, like, losing the race, like Murktide and Hammer Time sometimes. Loses the Pact. Well, I think I'm just dead now, assuming my opponent can figure out the haste line. Yeah, but they might die to the Magus if we can survive this turn. But this is their news, so we'll play it out. Explosives hurts Bauble. Yeah. There's a lot of like really incidental stuff that wrecks it. Back when Lurrus was around, like you could loop Lurrus. It was loop explosives with Lurrus. Alright, so they do have the haste land. I'm trying to think if there's... Yeah, I don't think there's any way my opponent messes this up, so we'll just go to game 3. Magus with the play against game 3 is really nice. We can force Ragavan again on the play. Tino, 34 months, thank you. Halflings an established creature type? Yes. Are you saying that the hobbits are going to be halflings? Or hobbits and halflings aren't exactly the same thing. It probably doesn't matter that much. Don't feel super strongly about it. Thank you to know. The difference is copyright? Yeah. Stupid copyright. Okay, I'm going to keep this. I think I'm not going to crack my Bauble on turn 2, though. Or sorry, on turn 1. Because I like, all that really matters is hitting my 3rd land drop, and so I basically get an extra look next turn if I wait and look at my top card. The downside, I guess, would be drawing Den of the Bugbear. That's probably too small. What if the Lord of the Rings don't have the new battle type cards? Yeah, maybe that's where they're going to be. Maybe that's where they'll be. Yeah, WotC said that the new Lord of the Rings set will not likely be the next Modern Horizons, but it is unique in that it's going directly to Modern. I don't know. We'll see. The thing about the whole Lord of the Rings stuff is if the set's nearly as powerful as Modern Horizons, if it's a set that is format defining, if it's a set that is poorly designed, really obnoxious, we will never ever talk about anything else. We'll never be able to talk about anything else, and the channel will die, and I'll have to become a stay-at-home dog dad while Esther works. So we could just wait. We could just wait until then to pivot to that lifestyle. Magus over Blood Moon, that's brave. Well, it's intentionally better against Titan because of the whole besage you thing, and it's really just for this matchup right now. Why go directly to Modern if you don't want it to affect Modern? I mean, is that what I said, or is that what it sounded like I said? Because it's just not gonna. I just don't think it's gonna be as impactful. I mean, they've said it's not intended to be as impactful as a Modern Horizon set. Oh wow. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, maybe 1. Oh, hello, Athena. Athena coming to hang out. Very rare. Athena. Alright, it's a lot of damage. Sad to not have found our 3rd land drop for Magus, but these squirrels will be large. These squirrels will be in charge. Also, if my opponent ends up besaging a oven, then we can resolve a Magus. Where's the dog cam? Well, the dog cam is pointed just at this chair here, and Athena refuses, and that she just sits down here now. So maybe I'll get a second camera pointing to where Athena is. Man, I haven't scrolled this hard in a while. I guess I'm saying there's a lot of room before Modern Horizons for it to warp Modern. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. My point is just that when Lord of the Rings comes out, we will do nothing but talk about Lord of the Rings for the longest time, and it's just there's just no point in speculating because there's just no way to know, right? Thinking about Tron Anvil deck, paper soon. Do you have any advice on when dealing with burn or hammer decks with no combo keel in hand? I mean, those are matchups where you your goal is to race as quickly as possible, right? And so, there's I don't know exactly, but you should be mulliganing to a fast hand in those matchups is the biggest piece of advice I can have. Force of Vigor, okay. Not the end of the world. I just have lethal next turn potentially. I have Maguses in my hand. They kind of did their job already. Pitch to force. A little slow for Blast Zone. They did show me engineered explosives last game. That would be tough. Battle at Helm's Deep. I remember I used to love the Battle for Middle Earth I don't know. Real-time strategy game, RTS game. Like both 1 and 2, I remember were so fun. I played them so much as a kid, and then Helm's Deep was always the most fun for me. Goated game. Okay, they searched forest, basic forest off of their expedition map. Then I guess they're going to be just on make a token to block. And I don't have an artifact. I don't have a land. So many top decks. Ugh. This would be a this would be a sad hand to lose the game with. Ooh, I think my opponent forgot to float a mana here too. How good would Soul Ring be if it produced 1 mana and was legendary? I mean, good enough probably. Just 1 mana artifact, tap only for legendary spells. I don't know. The new goblin would have won. It would have been dead here, but it would have. Yeah, it would have won. Yeah, good to note. Oh, okay, never mind. They'd made a tokens. I thought that they had missed their window. Okay, so we could draw any land besides the Bugbear. We can draw Mishra's Bauble. We can draw Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Blast. It's a lot of outs. Yeah, the Rakdos sweater, very intentional today. How does Blast do it? If I Galvanic Blast lets me kill the construct with attack. Yeah. Same with Bolt. Assuming they can't do anything else. Oh, they can besage you. Okay, but then it's not really that relevant. Awesome. Shout out to the chatter who said that Magus over Blood Moon was brave. Hope we've all learned something here today. Alright, I missed what my opponent said. Sorry. Yeah, being brave pays off sometimes, huh? Okay, I'll keep this. So she get nice stepped in against the Kira. And again, like you can have like a semantic argument on this topic, but like my main thing is like I just want to frame your mindset in a better way rather than like, you know, try to like the point is you should never have the attitude that your deck is solved, because that's how you get lazy and stop you know innovating. Yeah, Rub Priest does stack. Or like each trigger separately. Modest, thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well today. Reading Oni-Cult Anvil. They mulliganed, right? No, they kept 6. Kept 7, but they did Solitude, so they kind of mulliganed. Pitching Teferi, the Fun Raveler. Really like having again the Den of the Bugbear this game. You know what? I think I'm actually going to wait a turn on the Anvil here. I found that like if you can play Oven out before your Anvil, or you go Oven and then creature, and then when they kill your creature, you sack it to Oven, and then you have something to start your Anvil loop. I found that to be pretty nice. And I think this also plays a little bit better into any potential counter magic this game too. Although, you know what? I probably should have got Stomping Ground. Maybe, I don't know. The second black is nice, but the Stomping Ground would let me activate the squirrel. But can we, maybe we can just assume the squirrel is going to die. Today's been pretty good today for Freya. It's been good. Had a 4 on the Trash and Treasure, and now we're having a good run with the 8 blast, or not 8 blast, the Anvil deck. Their Chalice one is pretty good here, unfortunately. We could at least throw squirrels into it and then get the squirrels back, I guess. Or no, squirrels, cats. We have the Den of the Bugbear too. Wow, end of turn dress down. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So we can get this down. They could have stolen Oven. I mean, probably better to draw 2. Would this be an interesting sideboard Blood Moon setup? I mean, we have Magus in the sideboard. I don't like Magus. Like Blood Moon Magus is really only good against like Titan and Tron at the moment, and I mean it's okay against creativity, I guess. But it's not like it's. I don't think it's like particularly good to just slam in most matchups. Main phase tap Triumph, so they probably have a Leyline Binding. They started to pay cost and then stopped. Nice that you can't Leyline Binding a Den of the Bugbear. So I'm definitely keen to just fire this up. Kodal, thank you for the 28 months. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, we were playing Dark Souls today. We're going to be doing reset, like hard, no hit attempts, 1 hit, the run is over. We're gonna be doing that for like at least this week. We may do like, you know, a couple of attempts a day. Just kind of depends on how the day goes, how long the magic stream goes. I guess, was I supposed to do this? No, I was supposed to let the hit happen. How did they not do anything there? Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I need to sack. I can still do this. Sorry, I can still do this. I need to sack the stupid. I need to sack the food. Almost forgot the loop. I think we're also probably getting Leyline Binding here. Dagger with the 11 months. Thank you. Thank you. Drawing, overtaking squirrel. I might have Verdict. Nice to have not like really like got destroyed by this Chalice yet. Maybe we need. I don't know if we should be having answers to Chalice on our board. It's a hard card for us to beat though. Miss 1 point of damage. I mean, I only miss 1 point of damage, like assuming my opponent doesn't do anything. But they're blue-eye control, like with 4 mana up. I think it's just fine to go to damage there, not like get got by anything. Oh, you're right. They didn't have a new. Okay, their deck is misbuilt. If this isn't giving them, domain. You plan to play Green Anvil anytime soon? Yeah, I'll play it this week at some point. Oh, why did they have 3 Triumphs? Oh, they must be playing Rin and 6. Rin and 6 is so bad. I guess, you know. Rin and 6 is a really good card. I don't think it's very good in their deck, though. Alright, if this didn't connect, it's really big, of course. It's like, yeah, no Solitude, so put them down to 3. We have Shrapnel Blast in our hand. Could be playing a second Den. I had second Den previously. Ended up trimming. Thoughts on the 8 Blast deck? I mean, I really like it. I've been saying it's been underrated for like a while now, and I like it a lot, and I'm glad it's seeing some attention. There's a lot of different versions out at the moment too. I think we're gonna be playing it with Underworld Breach this week. I like it. I recommend it. I think that there's a lot of room for innovation, room to grow on that shell too. This is also kind of in the same, you know, family maybe. So Leyline's really tough, or Chalice is really tough for me to beat. I haven't been seeing a lot of Chalices lately, so I don't currently have an answer for one. Breach and Blast. That's maybe a good name for the deck, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that we were able to beat the Chalice on one there. That was a lot of interaction that they had, too. Have we lost a game? I guess we lost a game to Titan, right? Yeah, we lost a game to Titan last round. A couple of grudges hit the sideboard too much. You can play a couple of grudges. The sideboard, you could use a little work probably. Yeah, I probably could play more Pyrite Spellbombs too. Because of Sanctifier. Why Magus or Blood Moon? Because of Beseiju. We actually won last game, or like we were like my opponent had Beseiju up and we Magus them. Like you want Magus over Beseiju in decks like this that are only really bringing it in for Tron and Titan, which is my current plan. And if you're playing Blood Moon more often, then you want Blood Moon. I think is my current heuristic. Why no Magus in this matchup? Magus is not very good against. I mean, maybe it's better if they are playing the Red and 6 version, but like. Typically, I don't like Magus as much against the Solitude deck. It's also like, you know, I play a lot of blue-white control, and like at least the versions I play are pretty. I mean, they're not playing Rin and 6 in Rafine's Tower. Why do they have 3 Triomes? I'm losing it. I don't know. It's also like Chalice is like really only seeing a lot of play in like blue-white control, and it's like one main, like extra side. I don't know. Magus might be good. Again, you could play Magus. It'd be fine. I'm gonna get lucky. Nice. You could play it. It'd be okay. But I don't typically like it very much against Solitude decks, and I don't like it very much against, you know, a deck that's gonna fetch their basic planes as aggressively as possible against a deck like mine potentially. But maybe it would be like it's also like we're on the draw, so it's, you know, worse on the draw. There's a lot of like dynamics here that make me not love it. Probably just gonna bolt them end of turn. They still have that Archmage's Charm, 3 unknowns. Don't think they'll counter this, but it's good to get into play. We get 2-for-1 later. Potentially make Galvanic Blast a 4 damage spell. Ooh, Dashing Ragavan is always so nice against the Archmage's Charm, because like they have to counter it a lot of the time. They can maybe steal Cat also. Yeah, them countering Ragavan is big here. I answered already, Lope, right? You just asked this, I thought. Yeah, I answered. I like it. I recommend it. We're going to play some of it this week with Underworld Breach, I think. Oh, you're good, no worries. So now I can't sack my squirrel. They have 2 cards in their hand though. We've got, you know, double synthesizer in play with the squirrel that we can. I think I might just sack this to draw a card. So when you have squirrel and synthesizer, you can either sack it to make a 2/2 or draw a card. And I think against the Supreme Verdict deck, I might just want the card. Okay, never mind. No choices here. Kahira in the hand though. And then tapped Hall of the Storm Giants. Very interesting. I think I want to make it a 2/2 to play this time over Shrapnel Blast. And then let's just go ahead and resolve this Lightning Bolt. Can't forget about Jegantha either. Opponent's hand is Kahira, 2 mystery cards. They're thinking about doing something. They are doing something. Pending the token. Okay, 1 card left in their hand. Big top deck. I feel like if they had a counter spell, they probably should have countered that. So I'm going to try to resolve my blast now that I think they don't have a counter up. Okay. So So down to 4. Let's go ahead and trade Ragavan for Kihira. They only have 1 card in their hand. Man, I love this deck. Yeah, you can't dash Ragavan from Breach, but you can dash it from Exile. Alright, so we'll play Disciple before we sack our Synthesizer. Broker's Charm, huh? Well, that's a hero card if I ever done see one. Alright, they're down to 3. I've got... I guess I only have 1 more Lightning Bolt left in the deck. Go ahead and play this, though. That's why they have 3 Triumphs in their deck. Yeah, they kind of feel like we're overdue for a Verdict. My turn to play a companion, though. So now they're dead to Galvanic Blast also, which is pretty big. Is my only answer to Karn to point bolts at it? I mean, yeah, that's plenty of answers. I have like 4 Shrapnel Blast, 4 Lightning Bolts, 2 Galvanic Blast. I can also attack it. Anvil resolving would be big, turns off all their fetch lands, and we'll make another Anvil or like a Cauldron Familiar lethal going forward. Alright, just resolves. Maybe they have a Solitude. Solitude would be horrible. Just more charms. Wrong incarnation. They're also, if they shuffle, they target me because they target no one. But they have, this would be a lot of Lightning Bolts to shuffle back into my deck. Yeah, we'll be doing Dark Souls later today. We're going to be doing full no-hit attempts. 1 hit run is dead. So, Oni-Cult Anvil, Cauldron Familiar just got added to our list of outs here. They only have 2 cards in their hand. Now I like actively want them to have a Solitude, which is nice. Alright, if the last card's Counterspell, we keep playing. Otherwise, we end the game. Gonna just zap them now. GG. Okay, we're 4-0. Pretty exciting. We're gonna get to add to our stockpile of chests for set release no matter what. Let's go ahead and start a trophy prediction though. Be very hyped to trophy with this deck. Trophy prediction live. Our PB is 8 at the moment. With better RNG though, and like a little bit more game knowledge, it would have been like 2 or 3. No lands, no keep. Not a great hand, but I think on 6 we have to keep. Would maybe mull this on 7 though. Yeah, I like definitely would mulligan on 7 actually. I like just putting the fetch land to the bottom there. That way we don't like shuffle a land that we could draw back into the deck. No companion for my opponent. Just good old Murktide. Okay, best draw are like Oven, Bauble. Synthesizer's nice. Let's go ahead and just take this moment to resolve our Anvil. And then leave this back to block. I haven't played this matchup in a long time. So the card Murktide Region itself is kind of tough. We have a bunch of Ensnaring Bridges in the sideboard for this matchup. Where we get to like sit behind them and burn and ping them out. There's a squirrel. They keep a 1-lander? Kind of feels like they did. Okay, that's really nice. I mean, so they're pretty likely to have a counterspell of some kind. I'm trying to think. I'm going to look at my top card. If it's a spell, I can potentially just play around Spell Pierce by shocking here. Kind of painful. We can gain some life back with the Anvil, maybe. Okay, making them use the counterspell is alright too. Yeah, starting the resets on no hits today, yeah. So, you know, if we get hit early, we'll reset. You know, we're gonna be like 5 hours into the stream when we start, so I may even like have to take a break too. Like if we get to an Orlando hit list today, I might like just pick it up tomorrow. Depending on how fatigued I am. But I think it'll make the stream more exciting too. It feels really good to like, you know, also like finally feel like that's where we are on the run too. In the run's journey. They graveyarded Murktide, so they must have another. And if they have another, I think they're going to play a 6/6 Murktide right now. Which will be hard to race. 6/6 Murktide on turn 3. Good curve, Ragavan, counterspell, Murktide. Take a break first before the run. I will if I need to. I'm feeling focused enough now to like get started now. It'll just kind of depend on a day-to-day basis. Thankfully, we're not at multiple of 2 hits here. Okay, that's actually a pretty good draw too. So we get to go Bauble them, Ledger Shredder, and then we can sack this, get a food, get back the cat. Should I blast the Shredder? I mean, I need to blast them because I'm just on the burn path here. So I'll just blast them here before Shredder comes down, before they have counterspell back up, and while I have Metalcraft. Gonna be very, like, obviously very hard to race the Murktide, but there's not much reason to bring the cat back right now. This does let them connive. We're going to tap this. I think we're probably dead to a bolt, like one bolt no matter what, though. Oh, another Shrapnel Blast. Well, now what I'll do is I'm going to go cast Cauldron Familiar, and then in response to my opponent conniving, I'll cast the Shrapnel Blast. This way they have one less look at it. And then I have like 2 more life to gain here, so I'm still dead to a Lightning Bolt. But if they don't have bolts, we're going to, I think, be able to cat oven them out of the game, right? Okay, they have the bolt. Maybe we're like still even a little short. Obviously, having like their curve was really, really good against our specific draw. We do have answers to Murktide post board. We're on the 4X Ensnaring Bridge plan. I think well, I guess we're on the play, so I don't want to cut the Ragavans. Maybe I'll be cutting them on the draw. I'm down to trim a Shrapnel Blast. Galvanic Blast number 2. Meta, thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, everybody, for coming for Meta stream. Something like this. We'll see how the tech is. This tech is like way worse with Brotherhood End being out, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. A deck like this would have grudges or mites on the sideboard. You could, yeah. I think that I'm not sure which I'd rather have. The might is pretty synergistic with Disciple, Anvil, Squirrel. So I guess you would play the mites. Would Terminate be better since Brotherhood didn't exist? Well, the idea is that like Bridge is like a kind of combination sideboard Hammer Time and Murktide plans. It may just be bad because of Brotherhood End, because like they'll eventually find it. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Hand's not bad if we draw a land. You know, one issue there is like we mulligan to like a pretty shaky hand, which is it's just kind of tough to mulligan against Murktide. I think we can try this. We have you know 3 1-drops. We have a Bauble. We have a lot of burn. Let me keep this. Like we can draw land or oven or like you know plenty of other 1-drops to survive for a bit here. If we draw a land here, we can go Anvil into Bauble, which is always really nice. Main phase consider. I guess want to graveyard that card. Yeah, land would be huge. Any land cast Anvil. I'm glad we're not playing the Sagas too. Like this, just like Sagas like don't help you cast so many of your spells. It's kind of like Wasteland and Legacy Delver, although Wasteland at least has an immediate use. That's a really, really good draw. And they don't have a second land in their hand. Looking pretty good. So if we can win this game without showing them the Ensnaring Bridges, that might be really nice. Although, I don't know that it'll, in practice, actually, like they'll still have all their artifact hate, I guess. So we go sack here, trigger Anvil, trigger Disciple. And then our hand is pretty good too. Hand's not too bad at the moment. Third consider. Also, like, so unlucky for my opponent to miss their lands with Bauble double consider here. Yeah. Well, that was fast game too. Alright, so on the draw, I think I may just like be completely off Ragavan. Just seems so hard to get it through on the draw in this matchup. And like obviously not as good with the Ensnaring Bridge plan. I think on the play you still need to play 4. Yeah, they did a good draw game 1, unplayable draw game 2. Perfectly balanced. Perfectly balanced. Everyone Nihil to keep them on Murktide. We already have 4 bridges for Murktide. You could play Nihil Spellbomb too. Probably over sideboarding right now. Could evolve the sideboard plan though. You know, could be correct. I'm not like married to the bridges, of course. I think this is a 1-lane hand that we should probably mulligan. I know we're on the draw this time. We don't have as many 1-mana spells in our hand either. This one's keepable, I think. Let's go and put back second Synthesizer. Orvar is good against creativity. That's about it. It's such a beautiful hand. Glad to see them fetch Shocking. Love to draw a land here. Alright, I think I'm going to go Disciple into Bauble Sacrifice. Obviously, they can have a Bolt for the Disciple. But I want to get a little bit of value out of my Bauble. Dealing that damage to them is really nice. They were actually smart enough to sack Bauble. Like, a lot of people will just, like, not realize that this is a symmetrical effect and, like, mess up into it. But, like, in theory, I wouldn't mind these burn spells being able to go at my opponent's face because they fetch shocked. We have a bridge in our hand. I will block, though. I have to block. Yeah, we saw the fact RCQs have to be the same format or limited as what they queue into. I think that's fine. I mean, I obviously don't love it, but like, you know, this is an important thing in life. Like I'm a modern player. I play primarily modern. Like this announcement doesn't benefit me specifically. Is this a good announcement for the community as a whole? Maybe, maybe not. I have to like kind of digest a little bit, but I need to remove those biases a little bit because it's obviously like not good news for modern specifically. Is it good news for organized play? I think maybe. Like I think it's like a better structure if like the format that you're playing the RCQs in is the format that the RCQs into. So They said the next one's modern. I haven't heard that. That would be awesome, though. It's bad news for anyone that plays one format. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I don't know. I don't have a super strong opinion on it at the moment. I do know, like, back when I was, like, grinding back in the day, you know, 5 looks at land, no hits, unfortunately. Back when I was grinding a lot of tournaments back in the day, this is how it always was. It was always, the event that it queued into was the format of the event, and so I always felt like in the past, like, that structure just kind of made sense to me. And I know a lot has changed since then, so I'm still chewing on it, I guess. I'm still kind of, you know, trying to formulate an opinion. Oh boy. Well, I guess as far as Furies go, this one's not too scary. We finally drew our land. So we can go ahead and get an anvil down. I don't think I'm sacking my... I'm not going to sack my oven right now, though. Hurts the players that play RCQs that aren't really interested in qualifying. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but, like, maybe that's for the best. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know. This is, you know, whenever there's an announcement like this and you're a content creator, people just wanted a reaction immediately. But this is one I just don't have a very strong reaction for yet. I just have to think about it. I suppose it's on 1, huh? I guess I'm going to... just gonna Shrapnel Blast their Fury right now. Can obviously get countered. What's nice is I get a token here. Yeah, it feels bad to not be targeting them when, like, double blast resolving is lethal, but I also don't really feel that likely to resolve both blasts. Yeah, I do think the new Uncommon Goblin is, like, a really good fit for this archetype, which is part of the reason why we're playing this today. We'll see. If it's good anywhere, like, this is the spot. Okay, I hate how much they tanked on this. It's so bad for me that, like, they didn't snap off Spell Pierce. That's bad. That being said, we have action. The last card's another counter. No, the last card's like either like Spell Snare or just counter spell. No, it has to be Spell Snare, right? Like no other card makes any sense. It has to be Spell Snare. Second Fury. Second Fury doesn't even make any sense for them to like tank there. I think I need to take this hit so I can sack this to another Shrapnel Blast potentially. They don't have to immediately cast their spells. I guess I'm a little confused with what you're saying. What you say? Alright, so we'll play Squirrel into... I think still Shrapnel Blast the Fury. I know that like this lets them crack the explosives on 1, but that's okay. I mostly want them to counterspell the Shrapnel Blast because I think their hand is like Spell Snare or something, and then like this sets me up to bridge pretty well. I don't like that he discarded the land. I would have preferred for the... weirdly enough, I would prefer for the Shredder to have a counter on it for the bridge. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, and then it's also like very possibly the case here. Like this is very common that I maybe just like read way too much into a normal pause. Do that all the time. Bridge again wasn't also good. Maybe that was better line. What I liked about this line was it gave me... I guess I got to keep the same blocker, huh? Not sure my hand gets empty enough, though. Maybe it does. They got 2 cards in their hand. The 0-1. Well, it enters as a 1-1, but yeah. Starts as a 1/1. Then immediately becomes 1/1. What a good game. How is the Consider being cast now? What the hell? How is that not main phased? Hopefully no Brotherhood End. Not much we can do about it. I mean, we have a second Ensnaring Bridge, I guess, in our hand, right? No more reading into pauses, though, in this game. Pauses are just going to happen. Otawara? Yeah, they could have Otawara, yeah. Good card. They reveal Spirebluff Canal. Best card in their deck, really. I am excited for the land that can turn into an artifact. I'm not sure exactly where we're putting it, though. Okay, they discard a Murktide. They play the Canal. 2 cards in hand. 3 after the Bauble. Bad sequence. Oh, I guess they just drew the Channeler. Never mind. Not bad sequencing. Maybe we should have used Lightning Bolt here instead of Galvanic Blast. Okay. So I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna pass because if my opponent has a Brotherhood End, they're gonna Brotherhood End main phase, right? And if they don't have Brotherhood End, they're just gonna go to combat, and then at that point I could just bolt target them. Make nothing able to attack. Upkeep? No, because I might need to bolt the Channeler, right? If they have an answer for Bridge, I have to bolt Channeler. Alright, good enough. We couldn't, I guess so we could have bolted the Channeler there. Why did they petty theft that then? Why? Why didn't they do that main phase? They get to connive. They get to attack with the Channeler. I guess they're just playing around it. I didn't think they would play that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Damn. Good line, good game. That was a great match. Great match. We didn't get a trophy, but this was like really promising. First showing for this deck in a while. Maybe play some more tomorrow. Maybe just like tomorrow's all Shrapnel Blast Day. Shrapnel Blast Tuesday. I was wrong. Yeah, I might just be wrong about the sequencing there, but I'm thinking like if they have the Ragavan, like I don't know what their other card is, but they didn't have lethal, right? They didn't have lethal. I was at 5. And they had Shredder, Ragavan. So if I just don't do anything, then they don't have a lethal attack, even if they petty theft the token. Even if they petty theft the token. So was the better like not doing anything? Because I think the answer is no. Because like if they're gonna dash the Ragavan, you would think they would just go for lethal by bouncing the bridge on their turn, right? I don't know. I need to like probably take a step back from that game and think about it some more.